Hey everybody, Arnaldo Waffman here with Pangolin Beyond Video Manuals. In the last video, we learned how to connect the laser projector to your computer by using the FP3 dongle. In this video, we're going to set it all up. Now, I'm not going to get too crazy with the advanced features that Beyond has to offer, because the point of this video is to get you started with the basic features and setup. Here we go. First thing is to make sure that you have your license installed. I'm using Beyond Ultimate 2.1, and make sure you have the drivers for your FP3. Now let's go into settings, and the screen pops up. On the left hand side, I'll see the projector 1 is unplugged. So I'm going to take the FP3 USB cord and plug it in. Now I get that error that you see about it being slow because I'm on parallels, but it works just fine. You may get that error if you're on parallels as well. It'll work with no problem. We've got the confirmation that the FP3 is plugged in, so now locate the test patterns box. But before you hit that show it now button, make sure there are no humans or animals or anything in the way of that laser, and that you have it set up in a safe area. Now click show it now and the laser should come up, but it's backwards. So let's go ahead and get that fixed. Now you'll see that the invert X is not checked. So why is it doing that? Well, simply put, I have that option set within the laser itself. But let's go ahead and click it within the software, and you'll see that it automatically corrects it. So that made it pretty easy. We can also invert Y if you're hanging it upside down, or even sideways. You could just swap your X and Y. Check it out. Let's go ahead and size it up. So click the 100 by 100, and you'll see that the box and projection gets as big as possible. Now, it looks a little bit weird, and that is basically because once you're making a really wide image, the laser image can get distorted. I'll talk about that later. But you can see here that we can actually frame it exactly where we need it to be. This is really important, especially if you are trying to avoid hitting any people, or if you're in a balcony or anything like that. So you want to frame that image exactly where you want it to be. Once it's resized to something a little bit more reasonable, you'll see that it's nice and sharp again. So we're going to frame it exactly where we want it to be, and we're done. Okay, now that we've got that, let's go to our next tab, scan rate. And if you don't know all this, you may want to call your laser manufacturer to get this information, or look it up in the manual. First is the default sample rate, which is rated by points per second, or PPS. Now, this laser projector says 40,000 PPS at 4 degrees, but the industry standard is at 8 degrees, so that's around 20,000. So make sure you guys look at the specs on your laser manual for that. Then you also have your range of sample rates for using effects, as well as your color, blanking, shift points, and your minimum number of points. For this, you need to ask your laser manufacturer or look it up in the manual. Next, let's go ahead and set up our color settings. Now, you've got a few different options. First, we've got where you can choose your single laser, 2-color laser, 3-color laser by RGB or RGV, and then you have your advanced options. Below that, we have the color system type. Now, it basically breaks down between TTL and analog, and you need to find out if yours is analog with linear response or log response. But the big difference between TTL and analog is almost like LED color mixing, right? Or a CMY color wheel, where you do get smooth mixing from one color to the other. Whereas TTL, yes, you may get RGB, but it's just solid on. That's it. You really can't change how much power is coming out, if that makes sense. So basically, if you have purple, you just have red and blue full on, that's it on TTL. But with analog, you could tell it, okay, well, I want more of a lavender color, so I want 50% red and 100% blue. In layman's terms, basically analog allows you to dim the lasers, and that's exactly what they will do. Now, below that, you do have some color output levels, which allow you to do better color correction. I'm leaving that alone, and I'll discuss that in another video, but if there's any corrections to be made, your laser manufacturer should be able to provide you with all that information as well. Now that we've gotten through the basics, let's go ahead and dive into the fun part, using your laser. So make sure you guys keep watching this tutorial series for more information. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. Again, subscribe, share with your friends. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Arnaldo Waffman. Thank you, good night, and God bless.